on my computer if I'm live. Oops. And I still don't see if I'm live. Please let me know. Oh, here I am. So greetings from Katowice, Poland. I'm in Poland at the moment, and I have already managed to fall in love with this beautiful town, a city. I don't know how to call it. Katowice, it has only about 300,000 and a half, I think, people. So by its size, you can compare it to Chernigov in Ukraine or to Poltava. So of course, in comparison to Kharkov, of course, prior to the war, it's a small town, but it's very beautiful. I like that it is a mix of modern architecture, some Soviet architecture, some pre-Soviet beautiful buildings. So I really, really like it here. Anyway, yesterday and the day before yesterday, I have devoted to answering questions on Quora, and I'm quite often there answering dating related questions. And I have found several questions that I believe we haven't touched at this channel yet. And I was thinking that why not to answer them live for you while I'm here and to enjoy a high quality Polish internet. So, one of the questions that caught my attention, you can actually see it by the name of this video. What do couples do on dates now? And I kind of can feel the pain of the gentleman. I believe it is a gentleman who has asked this question. And within the last 13 years, I would tell that it is getting more and more common when people who get to my first consultations or our new clients that they haven't been out dating for a while or like never. For many singles who are married young and who have been married like for 10, 15 years, and after their divorce, it's kind of hard and not easy to re-enter the world of dating, and they struggle with it. They struggle with the new dating rules because, well, like 15 or 20 years ago when they were courting their ex-wives or ex-girlfriends, dating world was different. Now you have online dating, you have Tinder. Everything has changed drastically, and some people struggle. But let's return to our couples and what do they do on dates. Usually, before all the first dates, I tell all our clients, both male and female, that dating should be fun and you should enjoy yourself. It shouldn't remind a job interview. Of course, we all understand that first dates, they kind of remind us job interviewers because you want to give a good first impression. You also want to get a taste of what the other person is like, what he or she is about, whether you have something in common, what does she or he have to offer to you. So it kind of reminds of a job interview, but you shouldn't forget that dating should be fun and you should enjoy yourself. To get there, of course, you have to practice. And very often, singles who haven't been out dating for years, they put so much pressure on that first date. They grow their expectations at such unrealistically high level that it is humanly impossible not only to reach that level of expectations, but God forbid to exceed them. So it is hard to enjoy the date when you feel so much pressure and you create most of this pressure yourself. I always tell my clients, both male and female, that everyone should have a really bad date. Because if you never had a bad date, then how can you truly distinguish if the date you're at right now is a good one, a okay one? How can you appreciate a good date if you have never experienced a bad date? I have seen it so many times when, for example, a gentleman or a lady goes out on a date. The date goes okay, it goes well. So for 2, 3 hours, people are talking, and if you have nothing in common, you wouldn't be there talking for 2 or 3 hours, trust me. Um, if there is nothing that you have in common, if there is zero attraction, like really zero attraction, you wouldn't be spending 3 hours with a stranger. Anyway, sometimes men go out on a date with a lady, they are talking for 3 hours and they learn something new, but at the end of the date, they give me feedback that I can do better, or I want to see how the other dates will go, and which diagnostics I can give right after hearing this. First of all, that this person has not been dating for a while, that his expectation about dating are unrealistic, and he can't appreciate a good date. People often start thinking that, like all first dates will be like 3 hours long, and all first dates I will have this mutual interest, so the lady won't be in a hurry to leave. In the reality, that is not so. So if your first date was okay, there were topics that you had in common. Of course, there will be turns off. It's impossible to meet someone about whom you will like everything. No, even couples who are married like for 20, 30 years, if they are completely honest with you, they will tell you that there are some habits that bug them about their partner. But you can change your perspective. Instead of looking for the things you don't like about your date, try to find out 5 or 7 things that you really like about the lady or a man in front of you. And it can be such a game changer, because if you will look at this list of things that you actually like about the lady in front of you and compare it to the quality or maybe two qualities that you didn't find attractive about her or about the date, you will see that you can't even compare that things that you find less attractive are so not important. So what do couples do on dates now? If we're talking about the first date, I would really prefer it if you do the talking on the first date. So no movie dates, no concert dates for the first date. Because if you take her to the movie or if you're going to a concert, then all her emotions that she will get there, all her impressions, they will be about this concert or about this movie and not about you. And pretty much both of you won't get a chance to at least try to find some topics that you have in common, except, for example, from the fact that you both enjoy the same band or you like similar type of movies. So first date should be about talking, and you should try to find things that you have in common or that you like about each other. How to get there? By asking questions, and not to ask a question in the sake that, oh, Svetlana, I have asked you like 10 questions, to actually be interested in hearing an answer. Because sometimes people go out on dates and they have this list of questions in their head, and then they go like, check or not check, asking these questions. No, the trick is to actually try to get to know a person in front of you and to let a person in front of you get to know you. Because if you're the one asking all the questions, you will get your answers, but will she get her answers? Will she get a chance to get to know you? Because it's a two-way street process. You both have to get a chance to ask the questions, to hear the answers, to decide if there can be more to it. So, what do couples do on dates now? If we're talking about a classical, traditional offline date, I really like it when it is a dinner date or a lunch date. I did a couple of videos why I don't think that a coffee date is appropriate for a first date. Again, when a coffee date can be appropriate, when you have met on Tinder, on Facebook, and you just want to find out if she looks like your picture, and she wants to see that you haven't lied about your age, height, etc. So pretty much You want to get like proofs to see with your own eyes that you look like you claimed you would look by your photos and by your profile. If you have met on Tinder or, for example, on Facebook, then coffee date is okay for a first date. You will see each other. You both will decide if you like what you see, and then you can discuss a proper date. But if we are not speaking about a Tinder acquaintance, for example, you have been introduced through the matchmaking service. So the matchmaker has already checked that she hasn't lied about her age, she looks like her pictures, you haven't lied about your age, height, etc. You look like your pictures. So then it doesn't make much sense to go on this fast date like a coffee date, because a dinner or a lunch date, it can give you some advantages. A first date is usually a stressful experience for both parties. And of course, we human beings, when we don't feel comfortable, we feel stressed, we are out of our comfort zone, for example, on a first date in several months or in several years, then of course, our natural reaction is to finish the date and to get back to our shell and to achieve it. It can be easily achieved by ordering a cup of coffee and running away. But if you have asked her out on a dinner date, you both are already there. She is dressed up, you are dressed up, you brought her flowers, you have ordered salads and snacks. Yes, first 30, 40 minutes, it can be a nervous experience. How to overcome this nervousness? Well, first of all, you can be honest and you can tell her that, you know what, I kind of feel nervous because I'm not a serial dater. And to be honest, I haven't been dating for a while because, well, we are all adults. COVID, new project at work. I just couldn't make myself do it after my past breakup. So I kind of feel a little bit nervous, that I really, really hope that everything will go well. And the lady, she will breathe out thinking that, okay, he's a human being, just like me. He is nervous and he wants to make a good first impression. So being humble and being honest, there is nothing bad about it. I would say that the worst scenario is when gentlemen try to create this fake macho image and try to send this vibes that I'm this super confident and I'm going on dates every night. Usually, it's such a huge turn off for women. So don't go there. So once you are already on a dinner date, yes, the first 30 minutes, even 40 minutes sometimes, it can be stressful, but then you relax, you start talking, and food arrives, you're eating, you're talking, you're asking questions. You have this excuse to talk about the food and the whole atmosphere. If it is a nice restaurant, not a pizza place where there are like huge families with kids, dogs, and everybody is shouting, crying. No, if it is a nice romantic place, date appropriate place, then the whole atmosphere will add romance to your meeting, and it will get you extra points. And you do the talking. And you will see that after your main course, she doesn't want to leave and you don't want to leave. You can suggest her to have coffee, to have tea, to have drinks, to prolong this date. And out of a sudden, it has been 3 hours or 4 hours, and you have been talking all these 3, 4 hours. You have been asking questions. Instead of the coffee date, when you had your coffee or maybe water, just like me now, 20 minutes and you are done. You know what? I have to go. Sometimes gentlemen, they try to save some money, save for 30 or $40, and they tell that, okay, I will go with her on the coffee date, but if I will like what I see, if she proves that she is my type, then I will take her out on dinner. You have just one chance to give a proper first impression, so make it count. If we are talking about a Zoom date and after COVID and with all this madness that is going on in Eastern Europe right now, like Zoom dates, you can't just cross them out I prefer offline dates, but Zoom dates, it's also a great tool, modern tool. If you want to meet someone prior to, for example, traveling to Tallinn or traveling to Warsaw. If it is a Zoom date, what do people do on Zoom dates? They also talk. I recommend to get some coffee, tea, maybe wine prior to the Zoom date. One of our clients, he has sent a lady flowers and a bottle of wine prior to their Zoom date, and he had a similar bottle of wine, so they were drinking wine and talking on Zoom. It was a great idea, and the date went well. So, what do couples do on dates now? If we're talking about first date, it should be about talking, about giving the right first impression, about communication, about asking questions, sharing stories. Second date, if we're talking about an offline date, yes, you can go for a walk in the park and then you can grab some coffee. You can go sightseeing, but again, I wouldn't recommend going to the museum where you won't be able to have a proper conversation because you will have to be talking in harsh voices so that all the excursions and you won't disturb them. So somewhere, some place where you can talk. If the weather permits, go for a walk in the park, then grab some ice cream and coffee for the second date. What else you can do on a second date? Rent a little boat in the park and take her on the boat ride. Take her on a bicycle ride. But again, bicycle ride. If you won't be riding one after another, if you're riding by your sides, side by side, if you can do the talking, then it can count. If you can't do the talking, I would avoid such ideas for the second date. All the activities like bowling, playing pool, going hiking, everything where you're talking will be limited, where you're actually do an activity, a fun activity that you both enjoy. The date number 4, I would say, or the date number 5. And again, combine it. You can't have only activity dates. You should have the dates where you can talk, and you should mix them with activity dates. If you are doing a Zoom date, again, be creative about it. If it is your third or your fourth Zoom date, you can cook something together. During COVID, many our couples were forced to continue their communication by Zoom because of the closed borders, and some couples were creative about it. They were cooking meals while talking to each other and then eating those meals kind of together, watching movies together. But again, you can watch a movie if you had enough Zoom dates, plenty of the Zoom dates. And if you have met in person, I would tell, because watching a movie with a virtual stranger, I'm kind of not sure about it. Okay, I will add one more question here, and I will wrap it up. So the question was, is it too early to enter a relationship after the first date? First date, you are not in relationship yet. First date, pretty much you try to understand if you like what you see, and she, the lady in front of you, she does the same. She tries to understand if she feels physically attracted to you, if she is completely turned off by something, what she likes about you. So first date, it's an acquaintance. The goal of the first date is to get a second date, to invite a lady for a second date and to get a yes. Second date, it's not a relationship yet, neither. So it's way too early. And chances are high that, for example, she has a first date with you scheduled for Friday, and she might have another first date scheduled for Saturday or for Sunday. If she is actively searching for someone, then she is dating, and there is nothing wrong with it. It doesn't make her a serial dater. Actually, it can be an advantage because she can compare how the other guy is treating her on that first date, how you are treating her. She will compare how she feels and she will choose what works best for her. Because if she hasn't been dating and you're her first date in like several months or in several years, it will be almost impossible to reach her level of expectations, because for her, dating and men, it will be some fictional creatures, and her expectations will be very far from reality. So a relationship after the first date? No. I would say you have to go to at least 10, maybe 12 dates, 10 dates to understand if this acquaintance can lead to dating. And these 10 dates, if we are talking about a combination of offline and online dates, for example, you are doing Zoom dates and offline dates, it should include at least 3 offline dates. Because if you had 10 Zoom dates but you have never met in person, that's not a relationship yet. You have to meet offline. Usually 3 offline dates can tell you if there can be more to this acquaintance. So 3 dates after, if these were the dates where you've done the talking, not, for example, 3 movie dates, but 3 normal, classical offline dates, then both you and the lady can understand that if this acquaintance has a potential to grow into a relationship. But again, it's not a relationship yet. Guys, I hope it was helpful. I hope it was useful. I will come up with the videos that I have filmed in Germany this weekend and next Wednesday, and I'm filming new material for you as well. Don't forget to press like, to subscribe to our channel, and to leave a comment. And also, you can support our channel by becoming a special friend, a sponsor, and then you will get access to extra videos that we share only with our sponsors. If there is a question you would like to ask, or if there is a topic you believe we should cover in this channel, or if there is something you disagree about, please share in the comments below this video. Your feedback, your thoughts, your suggestions, they are always super welcomed. I wish you lots of love and only fantastic dates with the right ladies that you will have both offline and online. Svetlana Mucha, especially from Katowice, Poland, for Diolli.com.